This is a video response to Mr. Glob2123's. He asked me for some help. He built one of the waterfalls for a do-it-yourself project, and he had some leaks, and he couldn't figure out what he did wrong or how to stop it or how to fix it. So this is directed him, but basically I'm going to make it so everyone can end up using it. Some tips that also help you make waterfalls. My first thing I did, it's not really super even. It was the first one. I made a lot of mistakes and had to work with it. I learned from him. You see right away, silicone was not evenly put here, therefore it chipped off. The cement chipped off that first. That will cause a leak eventually, and also too much cement on an angle like that allows water to spill off the sides. So that was a no-no. Another thing that can cause leaks is when you clean it out and you move this thing around, is you're gonna bump it. You can try all you want, you're gonna bump it. And the sides, the corners are the number one thing you're gonna bump around. They're the first thing to go on these. Make sure you add some extra cement on the sides. You can see on here, all the corners are the number one spot on here beat up. The rest of it's in pretty good shape, but definitely do the corners more than the rest of it. If not, give it some extra strength. All right, here's a beginning thing I didn't even end up using, but it's a really good example of what not to do. When you're cutting up your sides for your styrofoam, you can try your hardest to keep them straight and flat, so when you glue it on, it's as flat as possible. When you cut this stuff, it falls apart, it breaks. It's really hard to keep really evenly cut, so that way it's very flush to whatever you're gluing it to. If at all possible, and it's high enough, you take a piece like this, and I had cut it here. I mean, you can see it's pretty even, but at the same time it's not 100%. So if you can, try gluing the flat side down like this, down to whatever you're making. That way it's going to be flush. It's flush against flat versus flat surface out of the machine, so you'll definitely improve it that way. Quick smaller example would be just this one. This side right here was from the machine, and if I were to glue that on there like this, it's definitely flat. Whereas opposed, my cut, I tried to do straight. You can see it's not quite as even, but if you put it on the flat side of the thing, you know it's flat. That's a big one. Another big tip is the siliconing. I probably should have done a little more better in the videos with it. You don't want to have it bubbling like this all over the place. You don't want it like that. This is even a little pushing it. If you want to take your hand after you're done and smoothing it out, and it comes out okay. But you don't want to bumble it up like this. It's hard to cement. It'll chip first, and this came out absolutely terrible. So I scrapped that. Project I'm working on now. Not only do you want to silicone the bottoms for the ridges, you'll also want to silicone all the way up on the thing. Glue them down to the base. So I would glue this piece down to here. Then when it dries, the next day or 2 days later, whenever you get back to it, then you come in it again and you do like a sealing area. You do this, you do up on all the corners and all the edges. Same thing here. I mean, anything major like this, I did the base, the inside, the above, the outside, and that will also help seal it. So after you put your coat of cement on, it's flat. You don't even see it. You won't see any of the silicone. But if the cement does crack, it's still watertight on those edges where it's going to leak from. That's a big one. And here's a good example of both with a little bit of cement. There's 2 coats of light cement put on, and you can't even see the seam. It's really crisp. It's not too bad. And so I use the flat side of the styrofoam for the walls, so it keeps it even. It keeps it definitely sealed. It keeps it neat looking. It works good. And that was on that one. So you can see all the sides are perfectly even. Or if I were to take back this original piece here, they're definitely not. And when you can melt the corners and stuff, or cut the corners over the knife to get rid of the straightness look, but it's definitely, as far as integrity wise, the better way to do it. Alright, probably the last thing I want to show you guys for this video real fast is a quick side piece I put together here. It's actually going to go in the back of this. I glue them together, and I also glued the sides because this is a pretty tall piece. It's going to be filled with water, so I glued the sides up the next day. So I would glue them together one day, then do the back side. I also did the inside, and then I've already done a light coat of cement, and you can tell it's just, you can't even see it. It's, you know, hides it extremely well. So if that is the #1 causes probably for your leakage. If the cement fails, the silicone backs it up, and the cement over the silicone is just a double standard. That's how I do it. And anything with the corners, anything like here, here on the inside, everything you want to add extra, that's the #1 spot that's going to leak from. Alright, thanks. Anyone have any other questions, please send me a question or a comment or anything like that, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.